Greetings, everyone. It's a pretty morning today. I'm out thinking about finance stuff, and if you found this channel, good job for you. These are I'm discussing finance, and chances are you're interested in the same topics if you found this channel. So we're all learning together. I've learned quite a bit by listening to various podcasters over the years, and thought I'd share some of my own ideas and concepts with everybody, in the hopes of maybe we all learn together and get more wealthy. So the thing I thought I'd talk about today is I've heard in the news about layoffs that are happening in some of the big tech companies. There's been some bankruptcies that have happened in some other major companies, and there is certainly a risk, financial risk, by losing your job out there. So this is a strategy to say, hey, be careful, be ready. If a layoff were to happen in your company, you know, are you at risk, financial risk, of losing your home? And if you are, then take some steps to be ready for that. And I guess you never know. You might be in a cushy job. You think, hey, I've got this position, I'm doing well. And some upper management person could just out of the whim decide, hey, we need to cut 10% of our workforce. Whether you're a good performer or you're not, if your name happens to be on that list, you get cut, and there's nothing you can do about it. So one of the thoughts is, it may be wise to get what's called a HELOC set up against your house. And so, I know houses are more expensive, or more of a burden over the last while than they were, say, 20 years ago or something. So you may not have a ton of equity in your house, but if you have some, a HELOC, that stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. And you get those from a local bank or credit union. It's basically kind of a second mortgage. It sits behind the first mortgage that you have. But if there's any equity in your home, you can get this line of credit. And a HELOC could become a life preserving force for you should you lose your job. And so, let's say you've got $10,000 in equity in your home. You can go into your credit union, ask for a HELOC. They'll give you this line of credit. But the interesting thing is, you don't have to use the line of credit if you don't need it. It's just available for you. If you have more equity in your home, maybe you've got $30,000 of equity that you can use. Once the HELOC is set in place, it just becomes a line of credit that is available to you to use should you need to. So it's better to get this line of credit set up before you need it than it is to try afterwards. Because if a bank or credit union can't prove employment because, hey, you got laid off, well, they won't give you a line of credit. Also, the housing prices are kind of going down a little bit right now. So getting a HELOC set up now at a housing price that is higher is going to be a better option than if we run into hard times. The value of homes have kind of depressed. That could wipe out your credit limit or the home equity you have. So getting this thing set up sooner as opposed to later is good for both the sake of, if you do lose your employment, it's harder to get a line of credit, and home prices can go down just like they can go up. So how do you use this HELOC? Let's say you've got a $30,000 line of credit against your house. You just get laid off. If you take that, you didn't have a balance on it, or maybe something tiny just to keep the account open or something. You get laid off. We'll pull that whole $30,000 out of the HELOC and put it. You can keep it in your bank. You can move it over to your brokerage. But basically, it gives you a lifeline to be able to continue to make your mortgage payments when you are out of work. And so, depending on what your mortgage rate is, if you have a $30,000 line of credit, pull the $30,000, keep it in the bank. Make sure you're getting as high interest rate as you can, whether it's a CD or a high rate of return. I don't use banks much because they don't pay as well. So if you don't have a source for it, you can open a Fidelity account, and your core account can sit as a money market. Right now, the interest rate is 4%. So let's say you pulled $30,000 from your HELOC, or $10,000 or whatever, move it to Fidelity. It'll earn 4%. Any cash you don't spend, and then it's liquid, so you can pay off your mortgage from that. And will you get 6 months out of your HELOC, or a year and a half, or 3 months, just depends on how much home equity you had. But it gives you the ability to cover that mortgage payment while you're out of work, keeps you in your house, and that could become a lifeline to you, because you're using the equity in your house. So again, I don't know if that's something you knew about or were aware of, but a HELOC can be a lifeline for you. It's something you got to set up in advance. But I just wanted to share that concept or idea with you. And I guess, let me know, do you guys, have you ever used a HELOC for this? Do you guys have a HELOC? Are there any drawbacks that any of you have had over the years by doing this that the rest of the community should know? Leave a comment below if that's the case, and we can all kind of learn together. But this is just something I'm aware of. A HELOC can become a lifeline to you. You never know when a layoff might happen, and if you don't have an emergency fund that you can use to pay all your debts for 3 months or 6 months or a year, um, then this is a method that you can use to have a backup plan. So hopefully that helps someone. Let me know if that's a good idea, if you like it, and we'll talk to you later. Like, subscribe. See you. Bye.